Welcome to day 4, daily number workout 4. You should have your paper headed already, and we're onward to the word form. So word form, write that down if you don't have it already, is F-O-R. F-O-U-R. Let's start that over. Welcome to the daily number workout today. It's our 4th day. And of course, our first category is word form, and it's spelled F-O-U-R, 4. Our next category is multiples. So let's multiply 4 by all the numbers 1 through 10. So 1 times 4 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. 5 times 4 is 20. 6 times 4 is 24. 7 times 4 is 28. 8 times 4 is 32. 9 times 4 is 36. And 10 times 4 is 40. All right, let's go for factors. So of course, we always start off with the first factors pair of 1 in itself. So 1 times 4. Never know what we can find in between. Does 2 go into 4? Yes, it does. 2 times 2. Well, there you have it. There's no numbers in between 2, so we're done. So the factors of 4 are 1, 2, and 4. So that's always good to know. And this is a strategy you will use when you're finding your common denominators, all these greater common factors between 2 numbers later on in your math concepts. All right, looking good. Let's go on to our next category, which is fractions, which equal decimals, which equal percents. So as you're writing those down on your paper, I'm going to move my paper up. All right. So of course, we're going to start off with how many days out of 100 so far? We've got 4 out of 100 days of school that we've come. And we're going to write that out of right here so we remember that that's what that line means. Now we look at the 4 and we ask ourselves, can we do an equivalent fraction with this? Let's see. Let's put an equal sign here. Does 4 go into 100? If we think about money, 4 quarters go into $1. So yes, 4 goes into 100. So we're going to divide the top number by 4. So right, divided by 4 up there, very tiny. And the bottom, the numerator by 4 and the denominator by 4. Let's get those terms out there. So 4, the top number is the numerator. The bottom number is the denominator. So when we do divide that, 4 goes into 4 one whole time, and 4 goes into 125 times, like 4 quarters make $1, right? So there we have it. 1/25 is the same as 4 hundredths. All right, so let's write down 4 hundredths. 4 hundredths in our word form. Remember the TH. And 4 hundredths in decimal, let's get our equal sign here, is 0 and 4 hundredths. So that's the ones place, the decimal, the tenths place, the hundredths place. So we would write that 0 and, so it's telling us that there's no whole numbers, and is the decimal. Remember that, the decimal. 4 hundredths. Make it easy on yourself. So when we write these over and over again, it's going to be really easy when we get to these during our different chapters and units. So when we write this in decimal form, it would be 4%. So again, if you walk into the store and you're buying something that's 4% off, that means you take 4 cents off of every dollar. All right, let's move on to ratio. Ratio again is comparing. So we're going to do 4 to 100 or 4 colon 100. It's very similar to fractions, but you'll find ratio in statistics. Let's go on to the next one, dollars and cents. And we go back to our decimal to give us a little guide. So we're going to do the dollar sign, and it's 0 and 4 cents. And we can write that out, 0 and 4 cents. All right, everyone's looking good. I am moving right along here. So let's move my paper up. You might have to turn your paper over depending on your space on your paper. Next, area and perimeter. Area and perimeter. And always writing down again and again. That way we never forget. Area equals width times length. Perimeter equals width plus length plus width plus length. All right. And sometimes it's even more depending on if it's a rectangular or square. This is working out perfectly because it only has 4 sides because it's a quadrilateral. But other shapes, like not everything is in a rectangle. So you'll find what perimeter is of other areas down the road when you get to that in your math book. So today, of course, we're doing 4 horizontal squares next to each other. So draw out your squares. And this would be 4 wide by 1 tall. So this would be a 4 times 1 equals 4 square, square units. Ignore that. Remember, you don't have to be perfect. Don't be erasing. Just scratch it out and write it again. I always like to not worry about what we're doing. This is just a wonderful exercise to make us very good at math. Now, if we look at this to do the perimeter, so this equals the area, we look again and we can use the same one, 4 by 1 by 4 by 1. So we would write that 4 plus 1 plus 4 plus 1 equals, and that would equal 10 units. So remember, perimeter is just linear. It is the outside. So we're just looking at the outside of this to just determine if that was a yard, how much fencing we would need. All right. This can also be drawn this way, vertically. So not everything is written this way. So we have to be able to look at it in all different angles and perspectives. So this one would be a 1 by 4. So 1 times 4 is 4 square units. It's the same because when we multiply, it doesn't matter what order they're in. It always comes out the same. And then, of course, the perimeter is the same as well. 4 plus 1 plus 4 plus 1, or 1 plus 4 plus 1. Doesn't matter the order of our numbers in addition either. So 1 plus 4 plus 1 plus 4 equals 10 units, which is the perimeter. All right, you're doing great. Let's move on to volume. Volume. So volume, of course, is width times depth times height. So you don't have to write it completely out like this. You can write it out like the top one. And I'm going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to draw my vertical cubes. So start off with the same picture of my area, but this time I got to do some three-dimensional here. So my diagonals come out of all these lines. And then I can connect the dots or the ends. And there I have my rectangular prism. So that means three-dimensional. So here's a rectangular prism of 4 cubes. All right, so this is a 1 width by 1 depth by 4 tall. So we have a 1 by 1 by 4 equals, so 1 times 1 is 1 times 4 is 4 cubic units, which equals the volume. So we're talking about the capacity, what can fit inside there, or if we filled it up with cement, it would be 4 cubic units of cement or 4 cubic units of oatmeal. All right, so we can also do the same one in vertical form. So draw 4 squares across, just like we did vertically. This is horizontally. And then we want those diagonal lines that are parallel. And then we come across down. And here we have the same one. So that would be this, not standing up this time, but laying down. And that would be a 4 by 1 by 1. So again, we would write 4 times 1 times 1 equals 4 times 1 is 4 times 1 is 4 cubic units. And that's our number 4. Have a great day. I will see you tomorrow for the number 5.